New champions were crowned. A story 12 years in the making was finally finished. And with that, SummerSlam Night 2 in Minnesota absolutely delivered. Let's talk about it.
Uh-oh.
Yes, boy!
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Hey, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mark It Down podcast. I am James Gisanti, and I am here to talk about WWE Summer Slam, specifically Night 2 in Minnesota. Last night, I made it very clear to you guys, I had a lot of fun watching Night 1. I thought WWE put on a really fun show with Night 1 of SummerSlam, so I came into tonight with a lot of excitement, a lot of hype, and I'm happy to say I think WWE delivered. Oh, why, thank you so much. Much appreciated. And always happy to have you here at the pod. Thank you so much. I had a really fun time with the show tonight. As somebody who was there 12 years ago, when WWE changed the future of so many of their stars and set the main event up for what would be the next decade or so. I remember that chair shot from Seth Rollins that ended the Shield. I remember that chair shot that put Roman Reigns on his path, put Seth on his path, and put that third member of the Shield that WWE doesn't want to talk about for some reason on his path as well. Just kidding, by the way. You guys know I love Jon Moxley. But I remember that night vividly. I remember everything about it, and I remember the story, and I remember where all of those guys came out of next and where they went next. And it's insane to me to think that we're here 12 years later. It's insane to me that the main event of SummerSlam Night 2 in 2026 is Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's the culmination of their history. It's the culmination of their rivalry. It's the culmination of everything those men have been through together and as individuals since then. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think these guys should ever wrestle again. I don't think Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins should ever wrestle one-on-one ever again. And the reason I'm saying that isn't because I enjoyed this match or didn't enjoy this match. It's because I loved this matchup. I loved it. I think it absolutely delivered on every front. I think this was such an incredible main event. I think this was such a great showcase for both of these men who told such a great story in the ring and out of the ring. I think they laid it all out. I don't think there is anything in the future that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins can ever deliver that would outshine what they did tonight. I think this was such a fun matchup. We're going to get into the action, and I know I'm hyping it up, and I apologize if I'm overkilling it, but I think I don't know that what I am doing here can do it justice. If you haven't checked out SummerSlam Night 2, if you haven't seen this match yet, after the review, go check it out, because it really was that good. You know, I trust both of your music tastes. All right, we are now going to be joined by, is that Chelsea Green?
It's Chelsea. The new interim WWE Women's Champion.
What up, Matt? How you doing, pal?
Good, I'm good. We'll see how long this week lasts.
God
I
bless
just
you.
want to piggyback on what you said. Yeah, there's nothing left these two can do. The only thing I could say, and you don't have to do it because we'll get into why, when we talk about the match. The only thing I can think of is if Dean Ambrose comes back to WWE.
And like, I don't think The Rock Austin 3 is any less important than 1 or 2 because it wasn't for the title.
But that was at Mania. It was at Mania.
And I think there are multiple factors that decide or define the importance of a match. But I don't, like, many people would say Cena Punk 2 on Raw was a far better match than their Money in the Bank match. But more people will talk about Money in the Bank because of the historic importance of that match.
Significance.
Yeah. So I do think there are multiple factors as to what determines the big win, the big match, the memorable stuff. But the way WWE painted this storyline was that Seth Rollins has always defeated Roman every time. Like they kind of made it seem like Roman has never beaten Seth before.
They needed to do that for the story, but like you said, he did really to end that feud. Roman did beat him the Raw, the 1-on-1. But again, for this storyline, he said specifically said like never, like you've never beaten me when it counted.
Yes.
And he was implying on big stages like WrestleMania or when it was, when the title was on the line. I mean, Seth beat him for titles. And he's beaten him at 2 WrestleManias. I'll be triple threat matches, but still, that's a pretty, Seth is
at 2 Manias?
2 WrestleManias, he beat him in triple threats. He beat him at Brock.
Yes, with Punk.
Last year with Punk. So
yeah.
Seth can essentially say up until tonight, he can definitively say like, hey, Roman Reigns, I'm your kryptonite.
I have your number. Let's hit the comments real quick. Matt's hair looks different than it did Wednesday, according to VX.
Shaved it this morning.
I think it was the wig, man.
Yeah, I know.
Maria, what up, Maria? What up, Maria? How you doing? Hope you're having a good night. BX saying the crowd was also insane for Money in the Bank 2011 because it was Chicago. Absolutely. I think that fed into it, of course, but I think that was the perfect place to have that match, but I think the match was going to be insane and was going to be historic no matter where it happened. It just, they pushed it to another level.
And like James said, objectively, the rematch on Raw was a better match. And if you look at another big significant match for me, like SummerSlam, Cena versus Daniel Bryan, like for the title, the Daniel Bryan Cena match is objectively better, like from a star rating perspective, than Cena versus Punk. No offense.
I mean, I agree 100%.
And to Punk's credit, people will say that SummerSlam, that Punk versus Lesnar, the street fight was a better match than Bryan versus Cena. People argue that. So I don't argue that. I just know people do argue that. So
it's a conversation.
Yes.
Maria's saying this was the best match out of the entire weekend. Bold claim. I don't know that I disagree with you. I full on agree. I'd say this was the best match of the entire weekend. There were some good matches this weekend, but I'd say this was probably, when you include everything, all the bells and whistles and all the significance of it too, I think this stacks it up as the best match of the weekend.
Note, I did not watch night 1, so I can't say. All I watched was Aldis versus Gunther, so I can't.
That was a fun one. Io and Liv was a great match.
Really good.
Shockingly great match.
Good.
There was a lot of good in night 1, and I'd say they matched it here tonight. And Maria asking, is this the final chapter? I hope so. As Matt and I just said before, I don't see what they can get out of another match ever. They hit every point they needed to here from an in-ring standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, from an emotional standpoint. I think they finally hit all the notes that they should have hit probably like 5 years ago, right? If not longer. Like, honestly, probably like 7 years ago.
To be fair, Roman did get sick and Seth has gotten hurt, so it's sometimes hard to line things up. And then
even when he got sick, they were a team again. They had already reformed the Shield. And then even with COVID, like that was after like everything. So like their feud should have ended properly a long time ago. That's not to say they couldn't always be intertwined, but the feud, the cap off that this match gave this feud should have happened a long, long time ago.
I would say I really hope they completely stay away from each other. Hell, I would put one of them on SmackDown, probably Seth, because he doesn't have the title.
See, that's the problem. Seth has nowhere to go because I have no desire to see Seth versus Punk again. It should not happen again anytime soon.
Well, he doesn't have to go for a title. Hell, man, the dude should take a vacation. Becky's not doing anything right now. Like, she was not part of SummerSlam this weekend. Has she done anything since losing the title to Sol Ruka? Like, there was rumors that she was going to take on the ref Jessica Carr. Jessica Carr has a lucha gimmick in Evolve that people were like speculating that she would have a match against her at SummerSlam. That certainly did not happen. I would say Becky, Seth, Rue, take a vacation. You more than earned it. And I just want to say real quick, like we said, this is the final chapter. I wouldn't even put them in like a fatal 4-way. You know what I mean? Like, just keep them apart as far as matches completely. If they want to tag, like, I'm not saying consistently, but if they want to have like a one-off tag match together as tag team partners, go for it. As far as competing against each other, I would only be comfortable with like an 8-man Money in the Bank ladder match. But also, I don't want to see either of those guys in Money in the Bank.
Of course. But I understand the scenario you're speaking of. And I'd agree with you. It's hard because as Triple H did his best to defend himself and the company this weekend, it is hard considering WWE's stance has been there's only a select few that are deemed worthy to be in that main event spot. It's been a constant critique of WWE. It's been a constant conversation amongst fans about WWE that it feels like there's only a select few that are allowed to be in the main event or allowed to be in the title scene. You know, it's why Roman is still on top. It's why Seth is always a contender. It's why Punk is champion. It's why Cody's challenging. So
that's really the 4 guys right now. Oh, 2. Didn't Adam had it, and then Joe beat him, and then Joe.
I think that was last year, though. I think Joe had it last year. But let's just say, for argument's sake, 6 to 7, from all in to all in, 1 year between their major pay-per-views. We've had 6 to 7 world champions. None of them felt shortchanged. All of them felt important, and all of them felt like it served the title and the title scene beautifully. So I'm not saying WWE needs to do exactly that, but having those Sami Zayn runs, having those Drew McIntyre runs are important, at least as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with you.
All right, let's just finish these comments, then we'll get into the bulk of the match. Tell us, we'll talk about what we think of the match, and then we'll move on. You know it. What up, you know it? How you doing, pal? Now he decides to show up for work. What's up, fellas? How was Summer Scam? I think this was in reference. I don't know if it was in reference to you. I think it was in reference to Roman, but I don't know.
I'm always doing stuff like for social media, guys, and I'm
missed here is what I think they're saying. I think what you know it is saying is you're missed here, giving your opinion on matches and the weekly product and the weekly conversation.
I was on the.
We understand. We know how hard you work. Okay. We know.
Not the whole show.
Eric saying Triple H isn't wrong. Just get over and you'll make it to main event. I don't want them putting randoms in the main event. Night in AEW wasn't worthy at all, but at least it was basically a squash. Oh, Kevin Knight. But on the flip side, you use the right last name. That's just not always true. You have over guys like LA Knight who don't get the title. Drew McIntyre was so over for such a long time, and they made us hate him. They made us never want to see him get another title shot because he lost and lost and lost and lost. So that's not a fair. It's not a fair representation. Yes, the idea is right. The idea is right. Get over so you can be worthy of winning the title, and look if we can put the title on you. But that's clearly not the case. They have their guys that they deem as championship material.
I'm also working on memes right now, so don't mind me.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to make you happy.
I mean, try to do it after the show. Try to do it after.
Fine.
But all that said, I wish that WWE was able to find a little bit more of a balance with their world title scene. I think AEW kind of nailed it this year. TNA just, oh boy, they did not pull the trigger on anybody at the right time at any point. So yeah, but to the match itself, go ahead.
TNA tail spinning.
No, I'm dead inside when it comes to that company.
Oh, I just got a good meme, a good reel.
Do it.
I'll do it after the show. Bang bang.
Oh, it was because I didn't show up on Wednesday. Get out of here, you know it. It was a jab at James.
I was there though. I made up for it.
Yeah, so he was busting my chops. But you know it. See, you know it. You know I love you. So I didn't even think you were busting my chops. All right, but to the match itself between Roman and Seth, this match had a little bit of everything. There were some really fun counters. There were some really fun role reversals. We saw Roman doing buckle bombs and curb stomps. We saw Seth doing spears. We had the obligatory spear into a pedigree counter,
which never gets old.
I agree. It's just sometimes it doesn't always land right, and it's like I'd rather you almost just didn't do it.
I feel like at this point Seth does it on purpose where he only hooks one arm, because it's like if I hooked both arms, there'd be no way you kick out.
Either way, we had two great table spots pretty much back to back.
My buddy Ben complained about that. I'm like, I get it. You maybe want a little more nuance in between, but like, it's not the end of the world. Like Seth was on the ground recovering, and then he suckered Roman in to get his own table spot. And man, that his, like, Roman's not a small dude. Like, Roman's got like 2 inches on Seth and probably at least 15 pounds. And like, so you see Seth pick him up, and it's just like you see him with, like, I wouldn't say struggling, but like, this is not an easy task.
Yep.
But he
managed it.
He more than manages it. And I was like, I wonder if the table will break. And it exploded. It was great.
But both spots looked really good. I loved Roman doing it. Seth went for a spear into the wall, the Roman spot.
Yeah.
And Roman countered it. He got him in the sleeper and then jumps him up right into the guillotine, jumps him up into the power bomb, walks him to the table, power bombs him through the table. I don't even know how to describe what came next, but Seth, like you said, suckered him in, power bombs Roman through his table. And I didn't mind it just because, one, rule of cool. Sometimes it's just a cool spot. I don't need too much to go into it. And
just enjoy it. Don't complain.
Exactly. And two, if I can love fighting spirit moves in other companies, I can love it here in WWE. If I can love Will Ospreay getting house called and then immediately hitting a hidden blade, I can love 2 men power bombing each other one after another. It's fine.
I gave Seth some credit there for powering through. I want to give Roman credit. You described what just happened. What I really liked was when he got him into the guillotine, he could have just walked him over to the table with the guillotine, or just with like a headlock, like, okay, there we go. No, he picked him up into the powerbomb position. And I thought, oh my God, is he going to do it like on the ring post? And it's like, no, he's walking. Oh my God, is he going to do it on the title that's on the little, the pedestal? No, he's walking past that. And boom, he walks all the way to the table and then does it. I'm like, bro, he just put in so much work. And like, it's like, Roman doesn't show up to work very often, but when he does, you get like 110%.
Yep.
Clip it.
At one point, the referee gets knocked out of the match. And what I loved about this was there wasn't any shenanigans that followed. And they talk about it. You see Roman and Seth both on their knees. And Seth goes, is this the part where they come out and beat me up? And Roman says, no. He says, this has been you and me. It's always been just you and me. I don't need anybody else. Ever since the beginning, it's just been you and me. I loved that part. I loved it. I think it sold the drama beautifully. It sold that this is their story. And it sold that whether you've loved it, hated it, whether you grew tired of it, or you were enthralled in it the entire time, this has been the central story of WWE for the last 12 years. From the moment Seth Rollins drove that chair into the Shield members' backs, this has been the through line tale of WWE. Doesn't matter if Roman was the tribal chief, doesn't matter if Seth was the Messiah or whatever, the architect, the big dog, whatever you want to call them. They always came back to one another somehow, somewhere, some way. So I love that it was just the two of them, and they decked it out. No ref, no shenanigans. But there was a moment where we thought we were going to get shenanigans. Roman is down. Seth goes to the ringside area, grabs a chair. Roman is propped up the way he would have been way back when, 12 years ago, when Seth first hit that chair shot. Roman counters it because he knows he's been there before. He's not going to allow it to happen again.
I'm pretty sure he was looking at the camera. That's what it looked like to me.
I love when wrestlers do it because it's like I judge you if you can't look at it. Well, why don't you look at the goddamn screen? If you're turned away and you're looking at the screen, use the screen. Yeah. But Roman counters. Seth is now set up against the ropes. Roman has the chair in hand. And finally, Roman is able to overcome all of these years of pain and hatred and hurt. He does not take the opportunity to hit Seth Rollins with the chair. He throws it aside, and he doesn't need it.
And Seth was ready, too. He was like, come on. Like, you know, like he knew he was in that position because Seth's a smart guy. He's the architect. And Roman did not make the same mistake he made at WrestleMania 40. WrestleMania XL.
Yep. And I believe one spear and then one super spear later, Roman Reigns successfully retains his WWE heavyweight championship. Not his WWE championship, his world championship. It was 3 spears?
I think so, yeah.
Gotcha. I will say, I typically hate the super spear. I hate it. I hate whenever I see, like, I remember the first time he really hit it was against Undertaker at the WrestleMania match, and he ran the ropes like 3 or 4 times.
It was too many times. I thought he was going to go one more time with this one, and I'm
so glad he didn't.
He didn't milk it. It was perfect.
It was the bounce off, then the second bounce off where he's actually facing Seth, and then he hits it. Yeah. And I thought, that is how you do a super spear.
Yeah.
Braun does it too much where he bounces off the rope.
But he's so fast, so I don't care.
I get it, but I start to resent the wrestler who takes it because it's like if you're just standing there that long, you deserve to go down. You deserve to get speared. Quite frankly, I should find a metal spear and throw it into your chest. But regardless, Roman Reigns pins Seth Rollins. Finally, when it matters, finally on the big show, Roman Reigns has defeated Seth Rollins. After the match, both men in their respective corners, having given it all, having exhausted themselves and each other, Roman gets up and puts out the Shield fist for Seth. Seth meets him, and this is the end of the Shield story. Unless Jon Moxley comes back to WWE, this is the end of the Shield story. And I think this was a great way to put your stamp on that story.
Just let me put a little ending there, and you've described this story beautifully, by the way. I let you do a lot of the descriptive talk, and then I kind of nitpick. Not really, but I kind of just chime in.
No, I appreciate you.
When Seth comes over, and I was wondering we were speculating what's he going to do, and we think we're probably going to get the fist bump. Because, again, if he, punches him, then, okay, the story's not over, and, we don't want that. We want this story to be complete. He's got the mask with him. And we were wondering if they were going to do anything during the match because the mask was on the corner, not the turnbuckle, but the post. And they were at that post at one point. They ended up not doing anything with it. And I'm glad they didn't. I think that was just
I agree.
It is whatever. But Seth, he's got it in his hands. He puts it down in front of them in the center. And they do the fists. And the mask is in the middle. And I feel like the mask, that's where Dean would be.
I agree. I think that was their way of that's Dean. That's
him, as well as the fact that they did a couple moves in his honor in the match, and they also said Dean Ambrose. Is he really in the video package? No, there's little bits and pieces there. They could have gotten rid of him with AI. They honestly could have if they wanted to, which would be effed up, but they didn't. Yeah. So, my question to you: we've described this match. Any final thoughts on the match?
I really, really loved it. I the right guy won.
Yes.
It's weird because Seth is the good guy in the story, but they told it from the perspective of Roman kind of being the good guy. Like, kind of
they're
needing
both
this.
tweeners. I feel like
Yeah.
they're tweeners from the opposite sides. Like probably Seth is more heel and Roman's more face at this point, but they're both still tweeners, I would say.
No, I agree.
As much as you're going to get a tweener in WWE in 2026.
No, I'd agree. I think going back to what Roman said, it is just the two of them. It's nobody else. I think that's what made it easier to overlook the babyface heel dynamics. It's the grander scheme of what's going on with WWE. And it doesn't matter who number one contenders are. It doesn't matter who won what match. It was just these two guys. And for that, I think they landed this perfectly. You spoke to this. I think they need to be separated now. Quite frankly, I agree with you. I think Seth should probably take 2 months off. I think a month is fine.
I would say, bro, take off till at least Survivor Series. Bro, this is the point that you just said, like, only a few people can be in the main event. Well, if that's true, one of your main eventers, have him take some time off and let's build up another main eventer. I'm not saying you can have like Akira Tozawa get built up by Survivor Series to become WWE champion or become number one contender, but you can build someone up into a main event like an LA Knight, like a Jacob, maybe not Jacob Fatu in the storyline he's in right now, but like an LA Knight or an Obafemi or a Braun Breaker. Those three, boom, you got three great options right there. My question to you, well, first off, I basically agree with everything you said. It was perfect. Again, even though I don't really like Roman, I still think he's really talented, and there's really nothing Seth could do as champion right now that would interest me. And I'm glad we didn't get any screwy finishes. Yes, we got the ref stuff, and it made us think, is anything going to happen? Could the Bloodline come out? Could Becky Lynch come out? Could a newcomer come out? You know, and none of that happened, and it was still very satisfying. You couldn't be disappointed that nobody came out because it's just the two of them. Like you said, my question to you, what do you think it would take, hypothetically, for Jon Moxley to come to WWE, become Dean Ambrose again, and maybe tell one more story? Well, first off, do you think we'll ever get Dean Ambrose in WWE again?
Yes, I do. If Tony Khan buys WWE.
That is, I would clip that. That's a good response.
Thank you. I don't think he has any desire to go back. I'm sure there are aspects that maybe enticing to him. But you got to remember, from the moment the Shield split, he was the third man. He was Roman's buddy. He was, I'm chasing Seth Rollins because of Seth Rollins, what Seth Rollins did to me. But guess what?
I can never beat Seth.
Yeah. He beat him the one time at Money in the Bank with the Money in the Bank briefcase. That was the triple threat.
He also beat him for the IC title. But still, more or less, it's very much the same situation as like Seth always beating Roman. It's Seth always beats Dean. I would say the only way that Dean, it would have to be a couple aspects that we would get Dean Ambrose in WWE again would be like if AEW goes out of business or something terrible happens in AEW where John's like, fuck this, and like I have nothing left to do here anyway. And I think WWE would have to give him have to give him a shit ton of money. Not that he really cares, but it would have to be like, I can't walk away from this money, and he would need a WrestleMania main event. Maybe not necessarily win, but he would need that WrestleMania main event, preferably triple threat Shield match.
I'll be real with you. I don't know that he cares that much. The timeline was so condensed that a lot of people don't remember this. Mox didn't leave WWE for AEW. Mox left WWE. Dean Ambrose left WWE. And when he was leaving is when AEW was forming. It was the perfect timing for him to jump from one company to the other. When he left WWE, he had the mentality, I'm just going to be working the indies and I'm going to be working Japan. He was content to leave WWE with no safety net of another company. So if something happens to AEW, I'm not saying he would never look at a WWE offer, But I think the WWE offer needs to be more than a Mania main event. I think he needs, and again, I don't know Mox, so I'm speaking from speculation.
That's fine. I'm asking for your opinion.
I can't imagine that Mox goes back to WWE without a Cody Rhodes or CM Punk like deal, where it's like, I am going to be front and center. I am going to have a certain level of like input on the feuds and the matches I'm going to have, and I'm going to help bring in like this next generation of talent.
Creative control. That's not going to work for me, brother.
I do think that's what it would take for him to come back. And truthfully, on my side of things as a fan, other than the Shield triple threat, I don't have much desire to see him back in WWE. I have no desire to see him wrestle CM Punk again. Him versus Cody, sure, because we somehow skirted past it in AEW. But even that, I don't have a lot of... I can't say oh man, that match sounds great. And there's nobody else in the main event scene that I'm like, man, Mox would do a lot with this guy or could do a lot for this guy.
Or he hasn't worked already. Like KO, that would be great. But like they had a title feud.
Exactly.
Exactly. Could they revisit it? Sure. But am I dying to see it? No. I will say this. He probably won't go back, but I think he'd probably accept a Hall of Fame induction. But it would probably be like, I'm not saying anytime soon.
Yeah.
And like once he's retired, I think he would probably accept they would probably do a Shield, Hall of Fame like induction.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure that's something he'll be fine with doing or be cool doing and even be happy to do. But I don't think he's there for a while. I just personally don't think he's there. We have a lot of comments from a lot of people. What up, everybody? There's a lot of you in the crowd tonight. We appreciate you. We love you. If you're one of our regulars like Penguin, you know it. Maria, BX, Eric, thank you guys. We love you. If you're a newbie checking us out for the first time, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We talk about all the companies. Doesn't matter the letters. We love wrestling. Let's hit these comments. Let's hit these comments up. Penguin, what up, dude? How you doing, man? Happy to have you here. He said Penta and Chad was match of the night. I loved it. I won't call it match of the night, but I really, really did enjoy it.
I'll say I think if they were given the same kind of platform Seth and Roman got, and I'm not saying that like Seth and Roman, you know what I mean? Like if they had the story and the platform that Seth and Roman had, maybe their match would have been match of the night. But
I agree.
I think Roman and just Seth, they were in the main event spot and they earned that spot and they delivered. So
I'd agree with
for
you.
them. In my opinion.
Maria saying she was shocked to hear the name of Dean Ambrose. Those two have never hesitated to say Mox's name or Ambrose's name. They've dropped Moxley before, like the two of them. WWE hasn't. But Roman and Seth, I think Seth more than Roman, has said John Moxley on WWE TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Not like just like I thought like maybe like interviews or like just watching Raw, he'll say John Moxley.
He's maybe not John, but he'll say Mox.
Okay.
Or Moxley. He's done it before. Penguin saying Dean Ambrose mentioned before GTA 6. Yeah. Just add it to the list. Maria saying Roman Reigns is a jerk. He's a heel who gets cheered. I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think he's mellowed out a little bit since like prime bloodline time, but yeah, he's still kind of a jerk.
I mean, he took a picture with my buddy Big Lou. If you watch Big LP Wrestling on Instagram, he like at Fanatics, he just went up and took a picture with the kids, and I'm like,
that's pretty awesome.
I feel like Roman doesn't do anything with fans unless they're Make-A-Wish. Like he's not available at Fanatics for like to buy an autograph or buy a picture, a photo op. Like,
Penguin saying Roman is innocent. Roman is a lot of things, and you could love him. I don't know that innocent is a word we could ever use to describe Roman Reigns. Not anymore. It's saying, wouldn't it be funny if they said Moxley instead? You guys can fact check me, but I am willing to put down a nice, crisp dollar bill betting that at some point on WWE TV, at least Seth Rollins has said the name Mox. Penguin saying Dean Ambrose looks like John Moxley. It's weird. Are they brothers? Are they variants? Hey, go see Spider-Man Brand New Day before Doomsday. That's all I'm gonna say. BX can't believe they did tribute to former Shield members like Moxley and Triple H, but completely ignored Kurt Angle. I agree. I am 100% with BX on this. It is a shame. It's a fallacy. Kurt Angle, the truth, fourth member of the Shield.
Not counting Joey Mercury, but that might be my new comment of the night. We got two contenders, folks.
Hey man, that guy could have been on the pod with us tonight, but he didn't have it in him. Your hair has been the subject of conversation tonight, man.
I'm just waiting for some Seinfeld references. I'll give you the responses you want if you like Seinfeld. Also, I missed night one of SummerSlam because I was at the Brooklyn Cyclone Seinfeld night last night. It was a lot of fun, and it's funny. It's the same exact thing that happened to me last year, and the New Day roasted me for it. And I'm like, you know what? Who would have appreciated me being at Seinfeld night? Big E. So shout out to Big E.
Well, they weren't at SummerSlam again this year for a different reason.
Maybe they were on a commercial like they were last year. No, I know they're gone. Yeah.
Penguin, justice for Kurt Angle, Shield forever. Maria, I'm with you there. Moxley would rather go to New Japan than go back to WWE. I completely agree with you. I have no idea what you just said. Sorry about that. You know it. Moxley versus Jacob, Moxley versus Evans. Sure, but none of that's enough for me to want him to jump back to WWE. Like, I'd say, despite him being in the company with all of this talent, there are more exciting matchups that haven't happened in AEW than there are for him in WWE at the moment. And even if they have happened, not to the level that I would like for them to happen. Like C2 notwithstanding. Like, I'd love to see Mox versus Jay White in a proper feud. I'd love to see Mox versus Swerve in a proper feud. There are a lot of guys that, like, I feel he could really elevate in AEW that I think it's just a whatever kind of thing in WWE. And that's not a knock on him. I just think he fits his environment a lot better in AEW. The regulars are far from regular. Just say, you know what? I would never call you a normie.
No, they're not regulars. They're spectaculars.
Spectaculars. But we appreciate you.
We're patenting that.
Put it on a t-shirt. BX, I can confirm Rollins has called him Mox on WWE TV along with interviews. Appreciate you, BX.
Cool. I knew it was. I definitely knew interviews. Like I've heard him say Mox, but I didn't know about television.
And Eric backing it up too. Seth said it in 2022 SmackDown and Mania 41. I feel vindicated and I appreciate you guys. But just like the Shield saga itself has come to an end, so is us talking about this match. Matt, any last words to say on it?
No, you got it. Good. Next.
Got it. What up, Tyler? Welcome. We're happy to have you here. Whenever you come here, I know you got some indie news for us. So if you got something, drop it in the comments. It was a Blade a replicant.
Oh, that was good. Cool.
That was a good one.
I missed the comment. I was working on something here.
No, we appreciate you. You know it. I still need to watch Blade Runner 2049.
It's solid.
Yeah, I heard very good things about it. For you, Matt, I was going to go to the top of the show, but I'm going to give you a reason to put on your wig. We are going to talk about the 5-way ladder match to determine the interim WWE Women's Champion. That is a mouthful and a half, people. But we had Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill versus Lash Legend versus Tiffany Stratton versus, I feel like the entrance is coming.
I'm working on it.
All right. Chelsea
Green.
You always throw me for a loop, and I say that with love.
Chelsea Green.
Guys, this match had me at the edge of my seat. This match had me worried and hyped at the same time. We are, all of us, equally at the pod, equally big Chelsea Green fans. None of us is a bigger Chelsea Green fan than any of the others. We are all big. We are all big Chelsea Green fans, and we were all rooting for her. Now, I will admit, I was a little nervous about Chelsea winning this match.
Same.
Because not because I was worried, oh, will she win it? I was worried that if she did win it, it might not necessarily be a good thing. Because I 100% have it in my head. She is going to be interim champion. Rhea's going to come back, eat her. And then Chelsea just never wins the title. And
I agreed. And see, one of our friends, Brady from the Heel Marks, said the exact same thing. And I said, I'm cool with that, but Chelsea has to win Money in the Bank, and she has to cash in to get that actual championship. Like that, it's long-term storytelling. It will work. It will be great. The only way I see that not happening is if, during the match, Matt Cardona comes out and costs Rhea the match. Like, that's the only way that Chelsea doesn't lose the title back to Rhea.
I mean, I would be A-okay with that because it's better than whatever the hell Cardona is doing right now.
Like, how is he not in the Corbin? How did he not get the Corbin treatment? And we'll get to Corbin. Like, how?
When you spend all of your time online saying how much you want to come back to WWE, they're not going to dangle a lot in front of you to get you back in the company. Corbin never went out of his way saying, oh man, I miss WWE so much. Oh my God, why did they get rid of me? I want to do anything to get back to WWE. He never did that. So,
but no offense to Corbin, but Matt did a lot more.
Oh, absolutely.
With his indie run than Corbin. Corbin was just in MLW and got to be tag team champions with Dijak. And that's not bad. I'm not knocking that. We love MLW. They've had us to those shows. We thoroughly want to keep going. But I'm just saying, Matt was NWA champion. He was the deathmatch king. He beat
the indie
Nick Gage. But let's get back on topic with this match. Chelsea won. Very happy. I will say the match was clunky as fuck.
It was. There were some standout moments. There were some standout moments, but this was a clunkier match. And I'm going to say this now. I want you guys, we have a lot of you in the comments right now, or we have a lot of you watching right now. This is as bold a statement and it's as negative a statement I'm ever really going to make here on the pod about a wrestling match.
Don't worry. I'll make a worse statement after him.
This match had the single worst / most illogical moment I've ever seen in a wrestling match before.
More than Mox flipping over for the 450 last week?
I will say this is worse. I genuinely could not wrap my head around the logic of what they were doing. There was a moment in the match, and this is near the end of the match, but it's not the end of the match.
We can skip around. Don't worry.
There's a big spot in the match.
Because I can't think of what it is.
Charlotte Flair is on the ladder, going for the belt.
Yes.
And Lash Legend and Jade Cargill take the ladder away from her. This is a common spot where you see somebody dangling from up above, holding on to the belt, holding on to the spot. I get it. Both Lash and Jade each grab a foot of Charlotte's. And it's clear from a legitimate standpoint, they're balancing her so she's not putting all of her weight on her arms. They're giving her a little bit to hold so she's got a little bit of footing. But in kayfabe, they're pulling her down. I understand that. The idea is, we're pulling her away from the belt. They pull her down. And instead of letting her drop to the mat and doing the damage, they catch her. And then catching her, Lash lets Jade hold on to her, and Jade then uses Charlotte as a battering ram on Lash. None of this made any sense. If you're going to put someone in that spot, the idea is they're supposed to fall. If you are trying to figure out a way to logically say, I'm going to catch them, you don't then let the other person hold them to use them as a weapon on you. This was like illogical after illogical after illogical.
They didn't even catch her. She dropped. They were supposed to catch her,
yes,
but her feet hit the ground, and then they picked her up afterwards.
None of it made sense. If Rev was here, Rev is very good at William Regal explaining stuff. You know, like, we're going to make it make sense. I don't even think he could. There is no logical way from an in-match standpoint to explain why they pulled her down to protect her, to then have it turn on somebody else. It was so silly. And usually I don't get bugged by stuff like this. Like, usually I'm just like, whatever. But I have to say, this might have been the single most illogical spot I've seen in not just a ladder match, but I think in any wrestling match I've ever watched.
I think Mox's spot was worse earlier in the week, but at the same time, in the same match, Mox had a great spot where he gives Commander the finger and then hits him with the cutter, so it made up for it. This match was so fucking clunky. Even before that, like, Charlotte is about to grab the belt. I think Jade was late, and so they get rid of the ladder, and it's like, instead of Charlotte holding on to the belt, she's holding on to the rung. It's like, girl, if you just hold on to the belts will come down with you. Like, logic, come on. Nope. Like, at least with Jeff Hardy, like, it wasn't like a giant rung like you could do pull-ups on. Like, he's holding on to like the tiniest thing and like just dangling for his life.
Yeah.
God, this match, and I've said really nice things about Lash Legend. I think
I like Lash a lot, by the way. I am a Lash fan.
Say that before I insult her. I like her a lot. I think she's got a great look.
What up,
I think
Fernando?
she's very talented. She's very nice in person. I have a great picture with her dressed up as Becky Lynch. She was laughing. But she looks so out of place. I honestly wonder if she's ever been in a ladder match. I don't have the
I doubt it.
And I mean, it happens. Like, Becky Lynch has, she's an all-time great, future Hall of Famer. She's spoken about, oh, I didn't even know how to set up a table. Bray Wyatt had to teach me to set up a table. Like, we all have our blind spots, but she looked so lost in this match, and she has looked really good in the past. I've spoken highly of her, but tonight she sucked.
I'm going to give her some grace here, and I've got a reason to explain why. Ladder matches are very particular about the competitors that should be in it. And I'm not saying that there are people that shouldn't be in ladder matches, but what I'm saying is there are roles that should be filled in a ladder match. Every ladder match should typically have somebody who is somewhat of a high flyer, who could do a nice spot off of a ladder.
Tiffany.
Every ladder match should have somebody who is the underdog that you want to see climb the ladder in that fast spot. Like, oh my God, they're doing it.
Chelsea.
Here was Chelsea. And not every ladder match needs it, but ladder matches tend to be better when you have one or maybe two powerhouses. Exactly. The problem here, there were three powerhouses. You have Charlotte, who is definitely kind of an amalgam, but she fills the role often. Yeah, she definitely sometimes fills the role of that powerhouse wrestler. You have Jade, who is absolutely a powerhouse wrestler, and unfortunately an inexperienced, or I should have to say, a still developing powerhouse wrestler. And Lash, you have three people there. You don't need that many in a 5-person ladder match.
See, I think if they had booked it differently and they told Charlotte, hey, we need you to do more high flying than powerhouse stuff. We got Jade and Lash doing the powerhouse stuff, then it would have been fine. I really think you only need one powerhouse, but I think two would have been okay. And here's the thing, I think Jade looked better than Lash.
I do too. I do too. But I think she had better spots too. I think she had more moments to shine. But so
I was disappointed. I'm sure Lash will bounce back from this. I have no doubt about it. And I'm sure I'll be very soon, Lash Legend, to going back to saying nice things about you. Because
I love
or at least I certainly hope so.
Yeah, I'm a very, very big fan of hers, and I'm rooting for her. I don't think this match was booked to really anybody's strengths, but Chelsea, yes. But Chelsea. I think this match was booked for Chelsea, and I'm happy for her. Obviously, it's what we wanted. It was the best outcome, but I wish that there was a better way of getting there to make everybody else look good too.
Honestly, I like I said, I didn't like the match. I thought it was clunky as fuck. Lash didn't look great, but as soon as as soon as Chelsea did the ladder spot on Tiffany, which if you'll remember, Tiffany basically did the same thing to Chelsea 2 years ago at Money in the Bank. So it was a great callback, great long-term storytelling. Chelsea was even like, kind of just like, I'm sorry, I have to do this because they're friends.
They had their moment in the match where they're like, you know, like they're like hype girling each other up. They're like dancing and like going in a circle with one another.
Tiffany has Chelsea has grown on Tiffany, and I hope like a couple things. Like I would love for Tiffany to lose the title to Blake Monroe, and then Tiffany turn heel and go after Chelsea. Give something for Chelsea to do before Rhea comes back, whenever that is. We don't know, but hopefully it's before. Like hopefully it's soon. I want Chelsea to do the thing with Tiffany, and then Chelsea loses the Rhea, and then we do Money in the Bank. But yeah, the ladder spot was great. I thought Chelsea was going to win right after that. Instead, Michin and BFAB come out.
Which was perfect. This was a great
that was a surprise, and everyone was just like, oh my God, no, it's going to be Jade, which was definitely one of the safe choices you could have had win this match. The safe choices being, in my opinion, Jade, Charlotte, or Tiffany.
Yeah.
No offense to Last Legend. She was not winning this match. She was just, it was a showcase for her that unfortunately she did not live up to expectations. But then shit goes down. Chelsea revives after everyone else has imploded. She makes her way to the top and she gets the title and all the things I just said before that. Congratulations, Chelsea Green. We're so happy. And the Fanatics better book you next year because you were booked this year, and it was
they booked it in a way that they made the fan favorite even more of an exciting option. They made us want it so much while watching it. That moment with Michin and who was it? BFAB. Thank you. That moment where she's hanging from the ladder, she's dangling by her legs
for a long time.
Several minutes. You hear the crowd is explode. They're chanting for Chelsea. They are rooting for Chelsea. They want it to be Chelsea, and they capitalized beautifully. Her pushing Tiffany off at the end onto everybody into the outside. It was great. She posed beautifully on top of that ladder. She knew how to have the shot. It looked good, one leg in front of the ladder.
She probably took notes from Matt and his Intercontinental Championship. But
great match, fun match. I agree with you, a clunky match, but sometimes it's more about the moment, and sometimes it's more about the highlights than the match itself. This is one of those matches.
I was gonna say, like, they can make highlights out of it. Like, it's fine.
Exactly.
Don't even worry about it.
All right, we have a bunch of comments. Let's get through it.
Wigs get coming off, guys. So get as many wig comments as you can.
Penguin saying, never seen Joe Hendry and Matt in the same room. I'm pretty
Where's
sure.
Matt? Who's Matt?
Matt, you.
Matt,
never seen Joe Hendry in the same room.
Who's Matt? I'm Chelsea Green.
Oh, there you go. Okay. We're having a Harvey Dent moment, and it turned into a who's on first moment. I'm moving on. Tyler saying that JCW has been more entertaining and interesting than WWE lately. More power to you. Always support your local indie.
We guys, if you didn't know, we just interviewed one half of the JCW operating owner, so whatever you want to say. Adam Abdallah. Definitely check it out on YouTube if you haven't seen it already.
I don't know what Fernando was agreeing with me way back when he posted this comment, but I appreciate it, and I was probably right. So thank you for validating. Eric saying a hot take of a hot take. He could see Charlotte going to AEW. If I'm Charlotte, I leverage AEW into making sure WWE has me beat the 16, or I guess the 17 at this point. I don't think I don't want to be rude. This does not come from any negative place. I don't think Charlotte breaking the record is nearly as important as she makes it out to be, because, man, they hot potatoed that title onto her so many times.
Yeah, we were kind of like, what is going on when that was happening? And
they also include NXT, even though, many people don't get their NXT title reigns acknowledged. But if I'm Charlotte
Not
Flair,
as
like,
world title reigns, that's for sure.
WWE recognizes them. It's why she's at 14. It's why she's at 14 right now. Otherwise, I think she'd be at 12.
So the women's title in NXT is a world title, but the men's isn't.
It depends on who's wearing it. It depends on the moment, and it depends on what stat they're trying to pad.
It feels like the ECW championship.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
No, it's not.
Absolutely. Fernando saying, yeah, Flair would go to AEW if she was asked to take a pay cut. I can see it. I don't think it's a likely thing, but I don't think it's outside. Like, I don't think it's some, like, bizarre concept that we could see here in AEW at some point.
Yeah, look at her dad, you know?
Yeah. Penguin with a great call out. He feels like Sol Ruka would fit the ladder match. I agree. I would have taken out one of the three powerhouses and put in Sol Ruka.
If you saw, I did a reel yesterday that I think that Jordynne Grace should have been the sixth woman. Again, that doesn't help the fact that we get in too many powerhouses, but I thought it was ridiculous that I thought 5 was a really weird number. I
agree. They could have done 6.
I don't mind 5. Like, I love triple threat matches. Like, you can do stuff with odd numbers, but typically with WWE, the ladder matches, they typically do 6. Like, sometimes they do 8. They did 10 at WrestleMania that one time for Money in the Bank, but they almost never do odd numbers. It's very uncommon. They've done 7 like only 2 or 3 times.
Yep. Eric saying, cool if it's her first ladder match, but she was the most prominent in the match, which is insane. I get what you're saying. I think we all agree. The match was clunkier than it should have been, and it wasn't the best showing for her, but we're still pulling for her here.
The other thing, I would say one thing, Blake Monroe would have been another great choice. I said that in our reel, because that's the other thing. Like, you put her in the match, it's a ladder match. No one has to take a pin. No one has to eat the submission. You can still look good. It's not like when they wanted to put Jade Cargill in the Elimination Chamber when she first started, but they're like, oh no, we can't because she'll have to, take that pin or submission.
No, I agree, but I think the fact that she hasn't wrestled since NXT, this wasn't the match to debut her in, though. What's the next comment that we got here?
Bubble butt?
What happened?
I think it was an inappropriate comment. We're gonna
Fernando saying Lash is a pillar for the future. I think she's got a lot of potential to break out. I think she's got a lot of potential to be prominent. She just needs the opportunities to grow and to highlight.
She also needs to make her own brand. Like, I don't want to be as cliche as this, but like she needs a catchphrase, like that kind of thing.
I agree. I think right now the partnership she's had, I don't know if it's still active, but the partnership she's had with Nia Jax was doing wonders for her.
It's successful, and I don't think she needed it, but it was working, and like it was like, okay, this is something for you to do, like keep working on your craft, and like, oh, you've got a championship, oh, you get to be featured at WrestleMania, and now she's been featured at SummerSlam. These are all good things, so she's just got to keep it up, is all.
I agree. Maria also saying 3 of the 4 horsewomen would be very interesting. That's in regards to Charlotte going to AEW. It's weird to think we're in a world where Becky Lynch is the only one that I would guarantee would never go to AEW.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at where they started, wow, good for her.
I mean, like, if it was going to happen, it would have happened already when she wasn't with the company for like, what was it? Like maybe like 9 months or something. Like she was basically, she more or less was on maternity leave.
No, I agree. I think the ship sailed on that. Fernando saying Chelsea joins Sami and Darby in unlikely title victories. I mean, I think it's slightly different. But I get what you're saying. It's definitely the underdog that you don't expect
the underdog,
to pull off the big win. Hopefully, she could have as memorable a title reign as Darby and longer than Sami.
Even if it doesn't count at the end.
Even if it doesn't count.
Imagine she's like undefeated for the next 2 months. Like she's like, I have like 29 successful title defenses.
And she just Brock Lesnar Kofi's her.
Yep.
One
yep.
move, and it's just it's over.
And it's gone.
Fernando saying your fave underdog title victory besides Mick Foley. That's a great question. I don't know if who I'm going to say qualifies, because they're different types of underdogs. Like Darby's an underdog for a very specific reason, but I'd say mine is probably Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. Like obviously he won it at SummerSlam first, and that in itself was like, me being the John Cena guy, I could not have cheered for Daniel Bryan more at that SummerSlam. But having been at that WrestleMania 30 and Bryan, yes, movementing his way into holding both of those belts was something really special. So he's probably my underdog, but it's hard. Bryan Danielson is only an underdog in WWE. Every other company, they treat him like the best in the world that he is.
Like he's gonna kick the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, exactly. What about you? Who's your favorite underdog title victory?
For me, I really wanted to interrupt you, but like I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. But I was gonna say definitely Daniel Bryan. Like it's got to be Daniel Bryan, and I was gonna say specifically the SummerSlam, but like they're both fucking fantastic.
Exactly.
You can't go wrong either way, but I think probably the 30's the bigger one, even if SummerSlam's the first one.
Yeah. The only other one that I would maybe put in there, and again, I hesitate to call him an underdog. It's just, it was such, fuck that guy. Somebody, that was such a genuine response.
Yeah, you did not think the on that one.
Well, no, it's funny because that guy screwed over my guy, kayfabe, Jeff Hardy. I don't think I've ever exploded as a fan. Like I remember when Jeff
exploded, all right. You exploded all over the place. For
there's
Hardy.
ectoplasm everywhere. When Jeff Hardy finally won the WWE title in that triple threat with Triple H and Edge, I think I had an out of body experience.
You've said that before.
Yeah, I don't know that I would qualify Jeff as an underdog, but like there was a journey to him finally winning the WWE title.
Well said.
And I for me, that's probably the big one too. But
you are definitely the biggest Jeff Hardy fan of the pod, maybe that I know. Period. But
30 pounds ago, I would have been a good Jeff Hardy cosplayer.
Hey, don't you give yourself some credit. You can still get down 30 pounds. But are we past Chelsea? Can I take the wig off?
Oh, yeah, I would do it. We're just hitting comments, and then we're going to the next one.
Love the comments, guys. All right.
You know it. Does Flair know anybody in AEW? I mean, I don't know. How you know? How do you know?
I don't know. Sorry, you can make that and make voices like that. I can't.
One person, maybe. Yeah, I agree. You know, one person, maybe. Maria's saying she's best friends with the CEO, and soon Bailey will be in AEW as well. Yeah, I really do think we could get 3 out of the 4. I'm not putting money on it. I think we're getting 2 for sure. I think we're definitely getting Bailey. Charlotte would be like, she's just fucking bored in WWE, and they made it clear that they're not going to have her break the 16.
And again, maybe the pay cut. But yeah, I think we'll definitely start with 2 out of 4. That's probably going to happen. I guess I wonder what they would call her. Maybe Pam. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, she's definitely going to be Pam, I think.
Okay. It's Pam! But I think it would be really funny if they do get 3, if like it's the 3 of them and they just constantly keep looking to the side and like the camera pans over and there's like nobody there. Like it's a redhead and they turn around and it's not Becky and they're like disappointed. Like they could do some fun stuff.
Love it. Fuck you, Eric. Fuck you. You know it's like Spike Dudley hands down. Look, I remember when Spike won the Hardcore Championship. I remember when Spike won the Tag Team Championships with Taz. I remember when Spike won the Cruiserweight Champion, and he was kind of like the bully of the Cruiserweight division.
And he was bullying Bubba Ray and Devon. That was actually a really interesting like dynamic that I think didn't get enough spotlight, but they did it, so it was cool.
Yeah. And European Hardcore, and I remember when he won the European title from William Regal in like the most bizarre, silly fashion. But I enjoyed it. So
nuts.
Good for you. You know it.
It's crazy that like when it was in a dark match that Taz and Spike Dudley beat Brock Lesnar and Batista. Like, that is the craziest, like, little like statistic
Yep.
of all time.
That's a fun one. That's a fun, like, did you know, like, piece of trivia.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've covered the women very
Absolutely.
well. Congratulations to Chelsea Green. We are going to move on, but I am going to have to throw it to Matt for just like 30 seconds
Sure.
while I go grab my my charger. But we will throw it to the United States Championship match as Trick Williams defended against Baron Corbin.
I got this for a bit. Take your time. Do your thing. Okay. So this match, a lot of people, myself included, are just like, this is on the pay-per-view, this is on the PLE. Like, what? So Baron Corbin's back in WWE. He's got a new song. He's the Nomad. He comes out first. I don't know how I feel about the music yet. I have to like listen to it just, without the crowd. But like, he looks pretty good. He looks the part. Lil Yachty comes out. He introduces Trick Williams. He does not rap. I'm like, bro, can you just rap? Like, why are you here? This is weird without you like performing. Anyway, Trick Williams comes out. It's really funny. Trick Williams is on a little platform and he looks kind of like, not disturbed, but like he looks like distressed. Like he's kind of like flummoxed. It's kind of funny the facials he went with here. Anyway, he starts like on the platform and he comes down. They have a match and it's fine. There's a part of me that like, Baron Corbin said, hey, like maybe Carmelo Hayes should be in this match. He said that on X. And it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, he's been part of the story. Trick and Carmelo were having a match on SmackDown. Baron Corbin returns to WWE and kills them both. And Carmelo, I guess, I don't know, he's just not really in the picture. But maybe that'll be visited on Friday. I could definitely see that happening after the end of this match, well, I will get to in a moment. Also, where's Ilya Dragunov? I don't know. I'm going on a lot of tangents here. I don't really stick to the script like James does. Just gonna have to deal with it till he gets back, okay? I will say, I think it's odd that tonight, night 2 of SummerSlam, we had both a United States Championship match and an Intercontinental Championship match. And we'll get to that match later. So I thought it was weird that you book both your mid-card titles on the same night. I would have put one of them last night. Probably, I would have put the U.S. title match last night. And it was weird because last night we had 2 trios matches. We had LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa and Royce Keys versus the Bloodline, Jacob Fatu and the Usos. But then you also had the other trios match, the women's trios match of Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, and Paige versus Fatal Influence. That woman match I would have put tonight. So, but I digress. Back to Corbin and Trick Williams. They had a nice little match. Some back and forth. The first big spot was Baron Corbin is on the outside, near the entrance ramp, that side of the ring. And Trick Williams, when you're looking at the ring from the entrance, he gets off on the right side and he runs around to try and intercept Corbin because, Corbin's on the outside, like, let me attack him. And Corbin lures him in, scoops him up, and he hits him with the deep 6. And the crowd really popped for that. I popped for that. I'm like, it's such a great move. Like, it's really cool when you have a finisher, and like Baron Corbin has a great finisher, but he also has a great signature. Sometimes it's good to see. And it's good to see Baron Corbin back, even if I'm not a big fan. James is a big fan, so we'll probably talk more about Baron Corbin. So that happened. They're going back and forth. The match is continuing. There was a weird spot where Corbin again was on the outside and he's giving Lil Yachty a hard time. Lil Yachty grabs the custom kendo stick that they call the trick stick, and he's kind of like chasing Corbin, but like not really. It's kind of awkward. It's kind of silly. Corbin rolls back to the ring. The match continues. They hit some big moves, like Trick hits the spinning knee, I think. Yeah, spinning knee. I was gonna say spinning big boot, but that's Dijak. That's Corbin, formerly known as Bishop Dyer. That's Dijak's, his partner, Dijak's move. The ending of it, is it cool if I get to the end of the match?
Yeah, do it. You got this.
We have so much stuff to cover. the end of the match is, I forget why, but Lil Yachty is on the apron, and so is Corbin, and there's a table set up because for whatever reason, Trick Williams wanted to pull out a table at the very beginning of the match to set up to maybe get himself disqualified. It's weird. Like, I feel like
feels so lazy.
Yeah. It's because I feel like Trick is I think the biggest tweener in WWE. Like, they can't decide whether they want to turn him face or not.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange. But again,
I'd say he's a face, but like he's a dick.
I don't mind them experimenting. Let's put it that way. I would have said I've already done enough tangents. I don't need to do that tangent again. Anyway, Trick basically goes for Corbin, bumps into him. Hits Corbin, and Corbin bumps into Lil Yachty, who's like, no. He falls back. He falls into the table. The table does break, but it kind of falls over. It's not the most satisfying table spot, but it does count as a table break. I don't think you could be filming that and turn to the camera and be like, I am the table, and expect to be on Botchamania. I don't think that this one would.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad, especially because by all accounts, it's a celebrity taking a bump.
It also, like I said, like it did actually break. He did, but it just wasn't very satisfying. It was more silly than anything else. Corbin goes in. Does he hit him with the title? Did that happen?
He does.
Yeah.
The ref and Trick are shocked, flabbergasted, distraught at Yachty going through the table. The ref is checking on Yachty. Trick turns around into belt to the face from Corbin, sets up the end of days, and 1, 2, 3. That move might not be as protected as it once was thanks to Drew McIntyre, but it is still pretty damn protected, and it got the win and the championship for Baron Corbin.
Oh, as soon as he hit it, you knew, like, holy shit, Baron's about to win the title, which again, I think is kind of excited and unexpected, but at the same time, it just feels like, I don't know, like, does anyone see that? Like,
I love Baron Corbin.
I said it while you were gone, yeah.
I love Baron Corbin. This was a mistake. This was a weird move to make. One, all of our hearts have to go out to Carmelo, right? Like, this is the second major pay-per-view this year that he was primed and ready to be on the card, challenging for at least a belt, if not just being on the card, to get booted at the last minute, somebody else taking his spot. And
Ilya Dragunov too. Like, I mean,
Ilya's a different story altogether. That guy can just leave.
He's gone. Like,
that guy should absolutely. I am not the biggest Ilya fan, but I respect the hell out of him. He should absolutely go anywhere else. Anywhere else, and he would be better off. But Mello, just all the sadness in the world for this guy. He absolutely got shafted again. And he got shafted for someone else to win the title. So Corbin, again, I'm a big fan. I'm not even opposed to him winning the U.S. title at some point this year. He should not have beaten Trick in his first main match back. And he should not have beaten Trick on such a big stage.
But could he have lost tonight and won it somewhere down the line? Will he be a bigger deal than he is now? Because I honestly
Corbin?
Yeah.
I don't think he's a big deal no matter what. I think that's the problem.
But I think he'll be less of a big deal after this. This feels like when Shinsuke Nakamura beat LA Knight for the U.S. title. If anything, like, Ricky Saints should have beaten Trick at the last PLE.
Yeah, no,
like,
I agree.
I think this is dumb. Again, we're having a title change later this night. We'll get to that one. So it was completely unnecessary. While you were gone, I said, like, we should have swapped some things out. Like, why do we have 2 mid-card title matches on the same night? And why did we have 2 trios matches on the same night yesterday?
Well, I'll tell you why. They care more about night 2. They don't want to say it, but that's the absolute truth. Night 2 is the true pay-per-view. It is the true event. It is the true, we want as many eyes on this night as possible. They did it at Mania 2.
You couldn't have put this U.S. title match night 1 and put the women's trios match on night 2?
I think you absolutely could have, I just don't think they had any desire to. One, the women's trios match was absolutely the weakest match of the weekend, and I think they knew it would be. Like, let's just be honest. I think they knew it would be. And they want night 2 to be as jam-packed as possible. Night 1 had Cody versus Punk and Oba versus Brock. 2 out of 6 matches, very, very hype for the crowd. That's all they care about for night 1. Night 2 had Roman and Seth, Chad and Penta, and obviously the opening match too was very hype, and then they made it more hype. So they care more about night 2. They are willing to have a weak night 1 to make night 2 seem as strong as possible.
But the trios women has Bellas. They're super popular. Doesn't that account for anything? No?
Not enough. Maybe that's their justification. They're popular. We'll put them on night 1. See, we're putting popular things on night 1. Were you tuning into night 1 for the Bellas?
I wasn't tuning in at all. I was at Seinfeld.
But that's the point. They don't really care about night 1 feeling equal to night 2. No matter what they may say. It's been years of this where they make it obvious where their priority is.
Better. I've said it.
I agree.
In the past that a lot of times night 1's better.
I agree with you, but it's not by design. It's not intentional. It's just they steal it. They steal it. So yeah, bit of a bummer there.
I would have made this like not counting our opening match. Which are we going to do that one next? The opening match of the night?
More than likely. Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll do.
I don't want to throw a wrench in it. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so not counting what ended up happening in the opening match, I would have had this U.S. title match be a fatal 4-way. I would have done Carmelo, I would have done Trick, I would have done Baron, and I would have done Ilya. And you could maybe have Baron win that and not pin Trick and just piss everybody off because it's the guy that nobody thinks is going to win and nobody wants to win. Like, how did Baron pull this off again when Matt Cardona is like, what? He's like he's got 2 televised wins, 1 on SmackDown, 1 on Main Event, and 1 house show victory. So 3 victories. Also the tag match with Danhausen, but now Danhausen is Joe Hendry's partner. So like, forget about you, Matt Cardona. Like so that's what, like 4 wins Matt Cardona's gotten in like 6 months. How did Baron Corbin pull this off when Matt Cardona has been like a joke since his 2nd week back when he lost to Trick Williams?
We love Cardona here at the pod. Everybody loves Cardona. The only person who doesn't seem to love Matt Cardona is Effie. That was just gross, right? But he's filling exactly the role he was in before he left WWE. And it seems that Corbin is back in the role he was in before he left WWE. A mid-card threat, a mid-card heel. And this was a good way of putting some stank on him. This was a good way of putting some heat behind him. I don't think he's going to hold the title for long. I think this was more about a moment and reestablishing Corbin as a threat. And I don't know if Trick wins it back right away. I don't know if somebody else does it. I'd be cool with Carmelo doing it. Or Ilya. Either way, like, I'd be cool with a few people taking the title off of him. But I just, as much as I like Corbin, I would rather see them re-sign Dijak and have them be a tag team. They're talking about padding up their tag team division again. That'd be a good way. That'd be a good team to interject into the division.
Or they're not going to do it, but like again, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, I've talked about it.
Yeah, the Wolf Dog. I mean, quite frankly, the Vision could use some muscle right now because Bronson Reed is out. And if they're having Braun be either the leader or the tag team guy, put in your big muscle, put in your big Lance Archer type into the group. But I don't know. I don't think there's much more to say about this match. Good for Corbin, but a very weird choice. As happy as I am for him. Moving on, we will go to the opening match of the night, which was meant to be a one-on-one number 1 contenders match for the Undisputed WWE Championship, originally set to be Sami Zayn taking on Finn Balor. But as the match is getting ready to get going, Nick Aldis announces that he has put Gunther into the match to keep things fair based off of what happened between him and Gunther and the storyline that they have been building and the results of night one. But that's not all. After Gunther makes his way to the ring, Aldis has one last surprise in store for all of us. I'm sure you're happy because I know I'm happy. We get the return of Kevin Owens.
The prize fighter.
My God. Everything about this was perfect. Simply perfect. Sami Zayn's jaw drop that he had the entire time Kevin came out. Yep, you're nailing it. The entire time Kevin was out and walking down the ramp, getting in the ring, everything. Perfect. Commentary hyped this up like the moment that it was. The crowd ate this up. Kevin, usually a very aggressive entrance from Kevin Owens, was not the case here. Kevin, you could see, was soaking this up. Absolutely beautiful return for Kevin Owens. As the match starts, we're going to get into the nitty gritty of it. Immediately just going right after Gunther. Loved it. Fuck that guy. Not the same way I say it about other guys, but I absolutely feel that way about Gunther. Kevin Owens just going at it. Sami Zayn just kind of like
he's in the corner, just still in shock.
Finn goes after KO for some reason. I don't know why he would go after KO first, but it was fun. My favorite bit happening in that opening bit where Sami and Kevin finally reunite. They hug it out, and then they do their fight forever hockey punches.
What I loved about that was I was afraid after they hugged it that Kevin was just going to give him a stunner.
I thought so. I was worried about that too.
And that Sami would just look like a buffoon.
Yeah.
So I loved that, again, you can also, we seem to be in a lot of tweener territory that like Sami is kind of this guy he's supposed to be this underdog baby face, but he's also complaining a lot. And
no, Sami's full on heel. He's not a tweener. We may love him, but he's a heel.
Fine, but this was not a heel moment.
I'd agree. I'd agree, but I put it in the same thing with Roman and Seth, where it's like all that matters is these two being next to each other. We're going to ignore the larger universe of WWE right now. We're going to ignore the larger scale of all the storytelling. This was two best friends who haven't been on the same program in 17 months because, guys, that's how long Kevin Owens was gone. And I felt every one of those months. I missed this guy.
Yeah, I was like, my buddy who was watching with us, like, how long has he been gone? I was like, at least a year and a half.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they didn't do that. I agree. Really happy that didn't happen. I feel like this wasn't that long a match. Let me see.
It didn't need to be. I thought it was again, I was multitasking, and as the social media guy, like I was, making content for this specifically and like watching at the same time. So it was a little hard multitasking. I definitely was not keeping the count of how long the match went.
Yeah.
But it was a fun little match.
Just to give a timetable for everybody, longest match of the night was Roman and Seth, which went 33 minutes and 33 seconds.
I was going to say at least a half hour for them.
Every other match was less than 15 minutes.
Ugh.
And this match, this Fatal 4-Way, was 8.5 minutes.
It's a little too short, but it's fine. Like,
yeah.
I would have gone with 11, but from bell to bell for Seth, or like from entrance to bell? Does it say?
I think it was bell to bell.
Okay, cool.
At 33.5 minutes.
How long was Chad Gable?
Great question. Gable versus Penta was 11 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay, good for them getting that. Like, I wanted them to have 15, but like if the Fatal 4-Way got 8.5, like,
The second longest match of the night was the women's ladder match, which was 13 minutes.
And unfortunately, that was the stinkiest one of the night. Like,
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say it was either Trick and Corbin or the women's match. I don't think the women's match was bad. I just think it was a clunky women's ladder match, if that makes sense.
I only enjoyed it when, again, like once Chelsea hit the ladder spot, and then we went to that final sequence.
Yeah.
It was so like the last 4 minutes for me.
Yeah. No, I get that.
But let's get to this fatal 4-way. Interesting fact, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we've had a number one contender match on a PLE since Triple H versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. Like they don't do them anymore. They used to be kind of like a staple.
They were a thing when I was growing up. Yeah. I remember them being like every pay-per-view or every other pay-per-view would have a major number one contenders match. And then it just stopped being a thing.
It's just like not everybody can be in the title match, but you still have like these big names. What do we do with them? It's like they're either in a blood feud or they're in a number one contender match. And like, so I don't think they need to be as frequent as they were when we were young. But the fact that if I'm not mistaken, and we're not counting Money in the Bank ladder matches, because my buddy was like, well, what about Royal Rumble? What about Money in the Bank? I'm like, it's more a staple match than the number one contendership match. I mean, semantics, but if I'm not mistaken, WrestleMania 30, and we just had we're one quarter off. So WrestleMania 30, and we're 1 quarter off from WrestleMania 42. So over 12.
I have to believe there was one in between. I have to. It would shock me if we went 12 years without a number one contenders match on a PLE or pay-per-view. I'm willing to believe you, like I am. But, like, I don't want to believe you. I don't want to believe that that's the case.
And you know what's crazier? I think the time, and I'm less certain of this one, the time before that they did it, I think it was like 2003 or 2004 when Cena, Big Show, and Kurt Angle had a triple threat match.
I remember that one. And No Way Out.
At No Way Out. So that's 10 years before that.
I there had to have been in between. But
I'll do a fact check tomorrow. We'll look into it, guys. Or if somebody in our comments wants to look up for it, like ask Siri or ask AI, ask Google Lens.
Although we do not condone AI use here on the pod. But
artistically, I use it for
back to the match. I'll be honest with you, Matt. I was nervous. I was nervous about Kevin, what he's willing to do, what he'd be able to do. But this man was hitting swanton bombs.
He had like a neck spot almost immediately. Like
he had no shame in letting us know that he was fine and he is KO.
I mean, for reference, guys, the doctors told him like if you take any kind of like, hit to the neck, you could die. That's what they told him when he had to stop, when he went away 17 months ago.
Yep. But no, there is no off button on Kevin Owens. The finish of the match, just because the hype of it was his return and then the match itself. Sami lifts his knees into a swanton. Kevin landed on that neck. The ref backed Sami away, and Barrett on commentary was just begging the referee to let Sami finish the job. Gunther came out and stopped Sami from hitting a haluva kick and applied the sleeper. As he's applying the sleeper, Balor lands a coup de grace onto both of them. Gunther breaks up the pin, but it was kind of late. I don't know if you saw it. I thought it was a little late.
And I was doing the social media. I just heard that everybody was basically doing their finishers. I'm like, coup de grace! And I heard it,
It was a little late, but it was fine. It was fine. It was a wide shot, so we're able to kind of forgive it a little bit.
It wasn't like a Tongaloa bad.
Yeah, no. It was just, unfortunately, you could only throw your body so fast. KO then gives Balor a stunner. He then gives Gunther a stunner. He then went for a stunner on Sami, but Sami's able to block it, and he turns it into a blue thunder bomb, which only got a 2 count. Sami then sets up a haluva kick, and Kevin is able to catch it with a super kick instead, and then hits a stunner. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens is our number one contender after 17 months away, and he will be, I guess, challenging CM Punk.
Yeah, because these are all SmackDown guys. And that'll be interesting. I hope they bring up their history. Like, they have not always seen eye to eye.
And this is the first time I think they've really interacted in WWE.
Yeah.
So I'm very intrigued. I know not to believe, but my God, do I want Kevin to win.
I think the story here is that Sami keeps getting screwed over in his mind. And to a point, he's certainly, let's put it this way, he might not be getting screwed over, but he's not management's favorite. He's not like the golden boy. He's not the chosen one. They're not treating him like that. That is for damn sure. But I think the story here is that Sami is going to keep being pissed off and keep doing more heelish things. He's winning Money in the Bank, and whoever the champ is, he's cashing in on. I think it'll probably be Punk, and maybe somewhere down the line, Kevin beats Sami for the world title. And you said it yourself, you don't want to see any matches between Kevin and Sami unless it is for the world title, I believe is what you said. I might be paraphrasing.
At this point, yes. If it's not for the world title, I don't want to see Kevin and Sami again, just because the more you hit that well, the less there is going to be in the pail.
I mean, they've done WrestleMania already. The only thing they haven't done, surprisingly, is I do not believe they've had a one-on-one match on SmackDown ever.
Yeah.
So unless it was like a SmackDown on Montreal, like
I don't think they've had a one-on-one title match ever.
You might be right there. I think they did the Fatal 4-Way for the IC title and the ladder match for the IC title. I don't think they've ever had a one-on-one match. You might be right.
All right, let's hit these comments before we get to the last two matches of the night.
We're on a roll.
We are on a roll. Table not breaking, so stealing from AEW. Real nice, you know it. We're going back a little bit because I kind of missed the comments after the Trick match.
Yeah, no worries.
Eric saying he can't imagine why Corbin would beat Trick unless it's just for some youngin to beat him, but seems really silly.
Johnny Gargano beats Corbin. Let's do it.
God, I am so I don't even know, but I have to hope that Gargano goes to AEW, right?
I like that, yeah, at this point, because it's like it's weird. We did the thing where he does wake up and then Oba
went right back to him.
Yep. And it's like, couldn't we have done this at WrestleMania? This would have, I'm not saying it had to be with Oba. It could have been with Royce Keys. They literally could have done that spot with Royce Keys and I was about to say Baron Corbin and Johnny Gargano. That could have been a fun little WrestleMania 5-minute spot.
Alas, no.
And then he could have gone back to being dead. I feel like he's growing out his beard and his hair now. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, he's getting really disheveled. What up, DC? DC5 Con? What up, dude? Thank you for joining us. Oba Femi getting pushed faster than Roman did. Yes, but that was because Roman needed a little more seasoning than Oba does at this stage. Oba is pretty ready, in my opinion. Like, if you strap a title to him, I would buy it immediately. Roman, I was the biggest Roman guy back then. He wasn't ready for anything quite yet.
I have a feeling that Oba's going to lose his first world title match. And I think that
so too.
Title match is coming soon. Who knows? Maybe he does end up winning a title at some point and gets cashed in on immediately with Money in the Bank.
Maybe. I'm real nervous. They have such an easy layup with him, and I think they're gonna. They're
already. It's kind of screwy. Yeah. Like I would have had, and I think I've said it on the pod already. I would have had Sami lose to Lesnar at Saturday night's main event, and we would have had less Nick stuff because. Not that I was complaining, but like, you know, not everyone's from New York. Not everyone's a Knicks fan. And you had like
they should be
Knicks segments in that show. And you could have done Hell in a Cell again, but do it for the title and have Oba win the title and retire Brock. Like do all the eggs in one basket, blow your load all at one time.
It's saying beer bottles also love Cardona. Yeah, He was a magnet for a while. Maria's saying Corbin is never going to happen. Why can't WWE understand this? Look, Corbin fits a role. He should not be your world champ guy. He should not be your big main event heel guy. He should be a Jake the Snake Roberts type heel where he is the upper mid-card heel to help warm up your babyface to get him ready for the main event. That is Corbin's role.
I agree with everything you said, but comparing him to Jake the Snake Roberts.
Well, the position they filled, like Jake was never a main event heel. He could have been. He could have been. He should have been, but his role was get those baby faces hot for the bigger feud that was coming later. And he did it with Macho. He did it with Snuka. He did it with all of them to get them hot for something bigger later. And it's a good role to be in. It's a great job security role.
And to be fair to Corbin, again, you're a big fan of Corbin. I'm not. I don't have anything inherently against him, but he was super over with the
Bad
bum
luck Corbin. Yeah, bum ass Corbin.
and a great finisher too. And again, I even said he's got a great signature too. Like I don't think his wrestling is great at all, but he does have a great signature move and a great finishing move. So
the problem is he wrestles like an old school heel. He does the boring shit that nobody wants to see.
I'm gonna punch you.
Chin holds, rest holds, stuff like that. Like we don't want to see it anymore, especially when we know he's capable of doing all that cool stuff. But yeah. Maria is saying it was way too soon to take the US title from Trick. He's way too over. WWE always does this. Too young talent who's getting mega over.
It's not that serious. I mean, he had a title reign from Mania to SummerSlam. That's a pretty standard, like 3 months. It's not the end of the world. It is puzzling, but this isn't like a super burial or anything. Like, honestly, if they wanted to, they could have Trick Williams be in the world title scene, like right after whatever Kevin Owens is doing.
Yeah,
like,
I'd agree.
It's not that big a deal, but it is perplexing.
Yeah,
and it's not
that Trick lost the title. To me, it's who he lost the title to.
Yeah,
that's the bigger issue here for me. Maria saying number one contender matches should be a staple in every promotion. I think AEW does do it, but less so at pay-per-views. I think they happen more on Dynamites. But I do think we've gotten some. And like Swerve Kenny happened on pay-per-view. That was a number one contenders match this year.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's saying, come on, man, be honest. AI is in control of everything, has been for quite a while now.
Not me.
I watched Terminator 2, man. I watched the Terminator franchise. I am fighting against the machines, okay?
Yeah, dude, I could go on a rant about like everything I hate about AI and like the stuff that you don't even think about that I could tell you about that's not appropriate for this pod. Like, also, the Pope says it's evil, and everyone loves the Pope. He's from Chicago.
Great deep dish. It's saying sci-fi movies were right. The war is coming. And I plan on being on the right side of history. Maria, I love Chicago. I cannot say this enough. I love Chicago. If I were ever forced to leave New York, Chicago is the city I'm landing in. So I'm all with you there.
It's definitely a choice for me. I think it getting really cold is not ideal, and also it depends on like what neighborhood I'm in. But that's like every place you go. Yeah. There's always going to be neighborhoods you don't want to go in or don't want to at least live in. You know.
Maria on your side here, Matt. Maria would love to see the Wolf Dogs back.
Right. Their run was like, who knew that this was going to be so much fun, and it was so short. They should have been on the main roster together, even if it was just for like a couple months, because they both went to the main roster, but Corbin did nothing, and they immediately put Braun Breaker in the IC title picture, and it was just like, this is too soon for him. Let them do the Wolf Dogs.
I think the bigger thing is if they had done the Wolf Dogs on the main roster, it would have done good things for Corbin, but it might not have done good things for Breaker. And I would not have risked it. But granted, it's not like they're doing great things with him right now either way, so.
I think Braun Breaker was undeniable. And they had kept him in NXT for, like, he didn't need to even be there for the Wolf Dogs outing. Like, you know what I mean? As soon as he lost the NXT title to Carmelo, they could have just had him dip and go to the main roster. I don't think it would have hurt him. I think, like I said, he was undeniable. So hopefully the fun stuff would transition to the main roster. And even if it didn't, just have them have a big breakup. The way have Braun Breaker kill Baron Corbin the way that he killed Ricochet, and like you have him right back, heated up, ready to go.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. All right, moving on. Last two matches, we're gonna hit a silly one. We're gonna hit a silly and quick one, as we had a human monies on a pole match between Dominik Mysterio and Danhausen. Oofa! This was silly. This was everything it should have been. we'll get into how I feel about some of these guys afterwards, but for the match itself, Danhausen gets the upper hand, and out comes JD McDonough to aid Dominik Mysterio.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the whole match was quick. The match itself lasted less than 7 minutes. It was like 6 minutes and 50 seconds. JD McDonough takes out Danhausen. This then brings out
JD hit a beautiful
moonsault. Yeah,
got
great
so
moonsault.
much hang time.
Out comes the Minihausens to even the score. And for the first time in JD McDonough's life, he was the big man in the match. Just looking like King Kong taking out the helicopters on the Empire State Building, just throttling the Minihausens until, and let me tell you how excited I am to say this, Toritohausen even the score and was able to hit some really impressive moves onto JD McDonough.
That was El Torito.
I am so happy. I love this man. When I tell you,
he was great. They all were.
I loved him as El Torito. When there was a point in college when I was trying to get my friends into wrestling, and the match that I used to entice them was WLC.
Okay.
It was El Torito versus Hornswoggle.
I remember.
And it worked. And
it's
I love
a really
Torito.
solid match.
It is so much better than it has any right to be. Take away the bad commentary from the little people. But it was a great matchup. Anyway.
What could have been what could have been a joke of a match was just literally a great match.
They put their all into it. Torito just going to town. Eventually, JD McDonough is able to get the upper hand. And out comes the man we all believe in, Matt Cascone. I mean, Joe Hendry.
Sorry, I'm not changing costumes.
No, you're good. Hendry comes out with the guitar. He smashes it over JD McDonough.
Back. I hated this. So basically, Joe comes running out with pants, no shirt.
He looked good though. He looked good.
No, that was not I'm just describing what happened. That was not an insult by any means. JD swings at him. Joe Hendry ducks. All he needed to do was go to the plate, batter up, and wallop him like let me finish. Just like good old Double J Jeff Jarrett used to do on people like Beetlejuice and stuff. And all JD has to do is put his hands up. That's all he has to do. It's a gimmick guitar, people. We've seen wrestling. We know how it goes. But no, he's got to swing around and he's got to kick JD in the gut. And then he has to hit him in the back with the guitar. And it's like,
I agree.
Give me a fucking break.
I agree with you. But we can't say we're surprised, considering this is WWE's MO. They don't want headshots with weapons. They don't want that to be a thing, whether it's a chair or a guitar or whatever it may be. It's not something that they want people associating with.
Fair enough, but they could have done something more interesting. This was lazy to me. You know what I compliment? Trick Williams and Joe Hendry, before they had the title match for the TNA Championship on NXT, Trick Williams went for a trick shot, and as he was lining up and he's flying with his knee, Joe Hendry goes to the plate, and Babe Ruth slugs the shit out of Trick Williams.
I agree.
And it explodes, and it's awesome. And so that pissed me off. El Torito hit one of the best Hurricane Ranas on JD McDonough I've ever seen.
It was fantastic.
It was amazing. Funny going into this match, I thought Dom was going to win until I learned that it was indeed a human monies on a pole match. And I'm like, the joke match always goes to the joke,
the joke wrestler.
It always goes to the joke match always goes to the face or to the joke wrestler. And in this case, Danhausen is both. And especially since Dom doesn't have to eat a pin or take a submission, Danhausen is going to win this match, and that is indeed what happened.
And getting to that finish of the match, both Danhausen and Dominik Mysterio fighting on the top rope near that pole. Dominik crotches Danhausen, getting him, splitting his real mini Hausens. And as Dom is going for the money, Danhausen curses him, and pyro goes off from the corner, and it knocks Dominik off the corner onto the mat. Danhausen wins, grabs the human monies, and wins the matchup. After the match, Danhausen gives the money away, which I gotta say is actually feels weird for his character.
He kept some of it.
Yes, he did. But
it was interesting. They were singles, but was there like fake money in
there? Was
too?
fake money. There was Danhausen dollars, which is what I'm calling them. I don't know what they like, but there was human monies there too. There was dollar bills there too. So I don't know what they were doing. I don't know how much of it was real, how much of it was fake, but there was a mixture of bills. He gave it to commentary. Michael Cole got it and literally went to the woman next to him. He's like, I got real human monies, as he's shoving the bills in her face. He gave Nick Khan's kids some money, and he just threw it to the crowd. He gave Joe Hendry money. Let me say this. I am so happy for Danhausen. This is a guy who I don't know what the shelf life on this is going to be, but he's reached the peak right now. This is his peak so far. I'm not saying he can't go higher. I'm not saying he can't leverage this into a mid-card title, but this was the greatest moment of Danhausen's career as far as I'm concerned. Arguably, maybe WrestleMania with Cena, but I'd say this was the big moment for him.
I mean, he's a wrestler. You want to be in wrestling matches, and you want to win matches. So
exactly, and I'm going to continue to root for him. I will say there are two people I feel really bad for, and that is Joe Hendry, and that is Dominik Mysterio. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh my God, look where Dominik Mysterio is! Like this is the guy who beat John Cena in his last PLE." Dominik Mysterio is the son of two great men, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. And both of those guys knew it was just as important to do the funny, silly stuff as it was to do the dramatic, wrestling, great stuff. So I don't think it's a big deal that Dom was in this. But undeniably, he has lost a lot of his heat. He was white hot a while ago, and now he feels a lot cooler.
I think wrestling, just like life, has ups and downs. I have no qualms. Dom's going to come back. It's not a big deal. And like I said, he didn't have to eat a pin tonight or a submission. Person I feel really, really bad for is Kit Wilson. This dude was so popular at WrestleMania. He peaked at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Then he worked with Danhausen. Danhausen turned him into a zombie. Are they still doing that storyline? Because I'm not watching SmackDown.
Neither am I. Not really.
Like Miz can recover. Like again, Miz hasn't won a singles match in like something like 2 years. But the Miz is always popular and always relevant. Kit Wilson is the guy that they need to do something with very, very, very quickly. Hell, I would have Kit Wilson be the first person to defeat Danhausen. That's what I would do because
interesting.
It's like there's I don't know what's going on with Kit Wilson. This is a fun little match. I have no other words. The mini Hausens literally got destroyed. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I'm like,
he was wrecking their shit.
Yeah, it's like he's kicking the shit out of little people.
The first one, when he hit, it was like a giant body slam. It was so fast. He torqued the shit out of that body slam that I was like, oh my God, I think he might have killed him.
And the second one, he had a choke slam. Like he was
the choke slam felt a little bit safer, but it still looked rough. That body slam, I wouldn't have taken that bump.
Like
I wouldn't.
They earned their paycheck tonight.
Absolutely. It is one of those things that I can't explain why it works, but it works so well. And I am all for them being a regular part of his act.
It's like Jim Cornette, and I don't always agree with Jim Cornette, but I do think he has a mind for the business. He talks about, like, what if you saw a little guy and the big guy fighting, and you saw like the big guy beating up the little guy, and then but the little guy comes back, and you're starting to root for the little guy, and you want to see him kick the shit out of that big guy. And it's like, now what if you knew that little guy and he was like your best friend, and like you knew that big guy and he was a big asshole? Like, wouldn't you want to see the little guy beat up the big guy? So that's what we want to see.
We do.
Literally,
Exactly.
little guys beating up big guys. Any other words on this match before we get to the?
Just poor Joe Hendry. This guy is now second fiddle to Danhausen, and honestly, I don't think there's a way that he could surpass Danhausen.
I think at this point you could make them a tag team, but I don't think we have a joke tag team on SmackDown. I don't think you can have like a joke tag team on Raw, or at least you can't have them both be tag team champions.
Yeah, at the same time. Yeah.
I would say I don't mind Joe Hendry and Danhausen being a tag team and maybe winning the titles, but I would say you have to take care of R-Truth and Damian first. My other alternative, you put Joe Hendry on SmackDown. Get him away from Danhausen they can do different things on different shows, and Joe Hendry can get his aura back. And maybe he switches things up. Maybe he becomes a little more serious and focuses more on the wrestling as opposed to the character work that he already has down.
No, I agree. I lost a little bit of that. I'm sorry.
Because the dog, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'll say one more thing. The ads. So many ads. I was with my friend and his wife and their teenage daughter, and the wife and teenage daughter lost interest by the main event of this evening, and I blame the ads. The kid didn't even have, is getting over a grounding, so they didn't have access to their phone or their computer. Like, this is all they had, and they were doing other stuff for the main event, and they were into the wrestling. So it's odd, and also very odd. They had a they had a pretty hardcore Viagra commercial tonight. It literally said sex at the end. And
where were you watching? What app were you watching on?
ESPN.
Right. So I watch on Disney because I have my Disney and ESPN connected. Okay. I don't remember that. I'm not saying I didn't get it, but I don't remember seeing that ad. I wonder if I get different ads than you do.
It only happened once. We were getting a lot of betting ads, but the betting ads are everywhere.
Yeah, makes sense.
I hate it, but it is what it is. This is TVPG. I don't want to see a sex. It was weird. It was awkward. Was it the end of the world? Did it ruin our evening? No, but me and my buddy, we looked at each other like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was.
You're critical. You can't do a TV PG and be doing that.
Well, not that it'll help because it's still awkward, but WWE is technically not PG anymore. I think they're more like TV 14, and you're still it's awkward, and no matter what, and they still play more kiddie than hardcore. But I think you could unfortunately get away with doing that on TV 14. But yeah.
It's weird. We got sex commercials, we got betting commercials, and we have alcohol commercials. It's crazy. If you want to go to one of these, signings, it's like Hulk Hogan's beer. It's like, what if you were 16 and you just wanted to meet Hulk Hogan at this signing and you didn't have your parents with you? It's like, sorry, kid. You would literally have to be to the adult behind you. Hey, I'm going to give you cash. Can you... Or not even behind you, but you literally have to go to a random adult and be like, hey, can you buy beer? You can keep the beer. I just need the picture with Hulk Hogan. That's all I have to say. We can go to the main event.
This is the society we live in.
I hate it.
All right, let's hit these comments real quick before we get to the last match. It's saying too many dogs in wrestling. The one and only is Junkyard Dog. Fair enough. Maria did not like this match. She said this was trash. It's saying funny about the WWE thing. No headshots as your average person is pretty numb to blood and gore, especially kids. I agree. This is them protecting themselves, saying, see, we're not showing kids that you could hit each other in the head with weapons. It's a very weird dynamic. It's a very weird thing, balancing act that they put themselves through. But I've been used to this since, 2007? Was that when the Benoit thing happened?
Might have been 6. It doesn't matter. Let's not think about it. Not that it doesn't matter, but you know.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Danhausen is stupid, according to Maria.
Danhausen?
Maria saying Dirty Dom is getting done dirty. I think there's still plenty of time for him to rebound. The one thing I will say, he feels very stagnant. I feel like he has not had any developments as a character or like career trajectory wise in quite a while. And I don't think this is a killer in any sense of the word. Like, I think he's fine. I don't think this hurts him, this match, or being involved in this program.
We covered it pretty well.
He does need something to make him feel important again. And I don't know what that
more
is.
With him and Finn. Like, didn't they had 2 matches, right? Like, they had one at Mania and one on Raw randomly. And it's like...
And Finn was the demon for the Mania match.
Yeah. Like, which made sense. We wanted to. That's what we want. Maybe not didn't make sense, but we wanted that.
Yeah, we wanted the demon.
Can we have one match in AAA for the title? Can we do something here? Like, at least have a proper three match thing. Like, it felt like they didn't care enough.
No, I agree. Maria's saying, this is what I was saying before about cooling off young talent who get really over. Trick, Braun, Dom, and Kit Wilson. Maria saying, agree 100%, split them up between Danhausen and Hendry. He does not like him. And we got Tama or Toma. Ospreay versus Omega. Ospreay versus Omega. I agree with you. I'm very excited for All In. And I think that's going to be a hell of a main event for AEW. All right, guys. We're here. Last match of the night for us to cover. The WWE Intercontinental Championship on the line as Penta defends against Chad Gable. Now, guys, let me tell you, this was the match I was most looking forward to tonight.
Same.
And it absolutely delivered as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
It had a decent amount of time, and they made the most of their time. 10 seconds over 11 minutes. I feel bad saying this because it feels so lazy on my part. In a lot of ways, this gave me Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam vibes.
I mean, I guess on paper, I don't think in execution, just because, no offense to Chad Gable and Penta, but that is like that Kurt Angle Rey Mysterio.
It's legendary.
It's a work of art. It's magnificent.
It's how you have a quick match. That is like the blueprint of a short match.
What was the
I'll look it up, but I remember it being really short. Hold on.
What Chad and Penta accomplished was they should be very proud of themselves. It was very good, very entertaining. The crowd was into it, but just like the night and day difference between that and the Rey Mysterio. Like you can't replicate what Rey.
No, of course. But that match was 9 minutes. So it was even shorter than this match. Not like crazy short.
Yeah, around the same amount.
And it felt as explosive. And if you guys hear my dog barking, I do apologize.
Barely. You've got headphones. You're good.
Yeah. It felt as explosive. Now, granted, there was an extra layer here. There was a level of respect that was shown in the match, which I really loved. As Gable and Penta shook hands pretty early in the match. And it shows the full circle journey that Gable went on. As obviously El Grande Americano changed not just his career, but his viewpoint as a wrestler. Penta's debut match in WWE was against Chad Gable. So for Gable and that's what put him on his anti-lucha conquest.
His crusade, I was gonna say crusade. Conquest was good too. Good C words.
Both very good. And for him to come full circle and to show that respect to Penta. And of course, guys, we're just gonna say it. Chad Gable winning the Intercontinental Championship. I love this. I loved how this played out.
The crowd loved it too, which is great.
Oh yeah, they were hot. They were hot.
Into it. And you gotta remember, this is the second to last match of the evening. So the crowd could have easily been tired at this point. I mean, I got tired tonight. I was like tired before this, and luckily, my friend Ben, his wife, made me some coffee, so I perked right up. But this could have easily been like a bathroom break match, just from the placement. but the crowd was into it, which is good to see.
It had some very hot moments. Gable hitting a massive German suplex onto the ring apron, only for Penta to later on hit a Mexican destroyer onto the apron. Both guys really love that spot in the ring.
Not a great destroyer, but honestly, I'll take a not fully destroyer over like a over rotated destroyer.
I completely agree.
Like, let's just play it safe, you know.
I completely agree. The finish of the match coming with Gable locking in an ankle lock and then really locking it in, doing the grapevine. As soon as he locked in that grapevine, Penta tapped out. Like there wasn't even a second.
I liked it. It was a nice touch.
Yeah. So with that, Chad Gable is our new WWE Intercontinental Champion. His first singles title in his entire WWE career. Well earned, in my opinion. Well deserved, well earned.
Did he win the Speed Championship as El Grande, or was that Ludwig? Ludwig definitely had it. I don't remember if Ludwig won it.
I think it was Ludwig.
Okay.
I think, but I'm not 100% sure.
This is more important anyway. We can ignore that. Like, I don't care. Not that I don't care, but you know what I mean. His family comes into the ring. He says, "Hey, I'm Chad Gable. This is my family. I'm right here from what part of Minnesota? Minneapolis. And I'm your new Intercontinental champion. The crowd goes wild. Not only was his wife there, his two daughters, his son, but also his
wrestling. It is wrestling gear too, which was really cute.
His son. That's been his thing. He wears it well. Good for him. I thought it was really funny that his parents, like his dad, is very noticeably taller than Chad, but his mom is also very noticeably shorter. So Chad is literally in the middle of his parents in the height category.
Love it.
That, you know, like because Chad is like literally an average height man. Like he's like what 5'9", 5'9 and a half, like,
probably.
So, yeah. So I just that kind of tickled my funny bone. Like, you know, like life's funny sometimes.
That it is.
And then more ads, guys. The mug pug comes out to tell Chad Gable he was the mug pug moment of the night. Gives him two mugs.
Thank God, guys. Thank God. We were worried.
Barely open when Chad does the stone cold thing. Like they're barely open.
He played into it well though. Like for a silly segment, he was the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was just kind of like I kind of wanted the mug to take off the mask and it's like it's Ray Phoenix and he just starts beating the shit out of Chad Gable in front of Chad Gable's kids and Chad Gable's kids are just crying. It's like
it should have been El Grande Americano giving him a real hug afterwards.
So I will note like Chad's kids, like they looked kind of like terrified at moments. Maybe the fireworks.
Mama Gable was absolutely putting her hands over their son's ears. He was, it was very loud for him. But yeah, I just saw your comment. Happy for Chad Gable. I hope he has a nice run with the belt, and I know better than to hope, but I would love to see Gable be able to elevate himself into a world title scene. But I am going to enjoy every moment of this Intercontinental Championship reign.
That's what we should focus on. We should definitely focus on the win tonight. But also for Chad Gable, the work starts now. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Winning it is one thing. Holding on to it is another. And also, we want to see great matches, which we know you are more than capable of. But like, this is when you have to deliver those great matches to be like, hey, I did what I did in Mexico. I did what I did at SummerSlam. I won the title. And now I'm having banger after banger after banger. Hell, Sheamus come back for a one-off. We'll do something in Ireland. Like, like these are the moments we're waiting for them, buddy. And we know you're more than capable and we're ready to see them. And that's when you do that. That's when maybe you can get elevated into that world title scene. I think we are definitely going to see him be one of the, if he's not defending the IC title at Money in the Bank PLE, he is definitely going to be in the match itself. That is my prediction.
No, I could see that. I could see that. Definitely.
I mean, he's been in the last two as El Grande and as
Gable.
As Gable, yeah.
Yeah.
Of those, me thinking he was gonna win.
It's nice to dream,
baby. No, it's gonna be Sami. Don't even.
We are going to just look at these last few comments before we wrap up, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Toma saying he wants Ospreay to win. I get it. It's probably the right way to go, but I am too much of a Kenny Omega fan to not want that. It's saying Ospreay will also be spamming on Kenny's face.
Why are we doing AEW comments?
LA Knight deserves a better booking. I agree. He is the case in point. Triple H is full of shit when it comes to being over means you get opportunities. Toma saying Moxley in WWE. We talked about this a little bit before you a lot earlier before you hopped on.
Watch the beginning.
I do think that the only way Moxley ever goes back to WWE is if Tony Khan buys WWE. I don't see him ever going back. You know it. You're a silly fella, and you know that. Alex, what up, Alex? 3 more matches left for Roman. Cody 3, Oba, and the final boss. I won't lie to you. I do think those are the 3 biggest matches Roman can have at this point. Maybe a rematch with Punk, but I don't think so. I think they had it and they're done. But I agree. I think Cody 3 is definitely going to happen at some point. Oba should be the guy to take the title off of Roman. I'd say WrestleMania. I'd have him do it at WrestleMania. And then the final boss. Look, despite it all, I am still a Dwayne The Rock Johnson fan. Matt, would you say the same?
Yeah, we've met the guy. He's cool in person. He treated us well. Let's put it that way. Like
I would love to see Rock Roman. I think we're at a point where the match can happen where it won't disrupt anything else in WWE storytelling. So let it happen. I'd love to see it. That match is a WrestleMania match if there ever was one, and just get it out of the way before Rock physically can't do it ever. So let's just do it.
Do you think that's the only match Rock has left in him?
It's the only match he should have. I mean, Rock should have wrestled Cody.
Yeah.
They should have had a one-on-one match. And maybe you still can, but I'm past it at this point.
Because I think if you do Rock versus Roman, which you should definitely do, it's not even like a passing of the torch because, Roman is already at the top of the mountain. Yeah. It would have been a passing of the torch at WrestleMania 35 when they were going to do it.
Yeah. 35?
Yeah, that was that's from what I know. That's because Roman got sick.
Oh, okay.
It was the plan was that he was going to be Universal Champion, like he had been, or I don't know about the championship, but like the 35 main event was going to be Roman versus versus Rock, which would have been kind of poetic because the last time Rock main evented WrestleMania was at 29 at the same location.
Very cool. BX saying making Gable celebrate with the soda mascot after having such a beautiful moment with the crowd and his family is a microcosm of everything that's wrong with WWE today. I don't disagree with you, Rev BX. Sorry, we're peeling the curtain back on that one. I don't disagree with you, BX. I just think it's gonna happen no matter what. And Gable is a silly enough and beloved enough guy that he can embrace that moment and not have it feel like it ruined everything else.
Yeah,
I agree.
It was definitely, it's hard to argue at that point, but like at the end of the day, it didn't really take away like we're just like, this is dumb, but it didn't ruin the moment. Like we're just like Gable's fucking owning it. Like anything, anything could come out, any advertiser could come out and Gable would make it work because he's that talented.
I completely agree. I'm sorry I broke kayfabe. Okay, my bad. And it's saying Gunther, I guess, for Roman. That's certainly a match you can have. I know I'm tainted. There's nothing that excites me about what Gunther can do. I know he's a good worker. I know his value. I am at a point, there is nothing. Anytime you insert Gunther into anything, I'm not going to think to myself, well, that's going to be awesome. Even though it probably will be.
Unless it's Ilya Dragunov, then,
Sure. And even then, it's only because I want Ilya to beat him. But I agree.
Did the match where Ilya got hurt, that house show match, did they finish that match?
I don't know. I think so, but I don't know.
So weird they had their blow-off match at a house show.
It's WWE. Anyway, guys, sorry to shatter your world there, but that was WWE Summer Slam Night 2 in Minnesota. I think they delivered a great weekend of professional wrestling. I think they managed to really entertain. Obviously, we're tired. It is midnight on a Monday, but I think WWE absolutely gave us a lot of bang for our buck. I'm looking forward to seeing how certain things play out. Like, I'm very excited for Kevin Owens. I'm happy that the Shield saga is over. And yeah, I'm happy that Chad Gable is Intercontinental Champion, and I'm very happy. I know you're happy that Chelsea Green is WWE Women's Champion. As you guys know, we are here for all your wrestling love and needs. We are here for WWE, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, our local indies like House of Glory. Matt, you gotta yawn away from the camera.
Sorry.
I just saw your tonsils. We cover House of Glory. We cover. We're now covering Produce Wrestling. Are you going to Produce tomorrow?
Produce tomorrow, yes.
Very cool.
You want to come?
I will be at the Yankee game. Otherwise, I would have loved to. We cover all your major premium live events, all your major pay-per-views. We will be covering AEW All In a couple of weeks. We will be covering, I think, whatever the next TNA pay-per-view is, because they're going to erase Leon Slater because they are a petty company.
They're going to erase him? What?
Oh, I don't have the energy to get into this on camera right now. We'll talk about it later. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Matt, do you have any last words before we go off the air?
Check us out at Produce. That's about it. Always check us out on Instagram. That's where you can always contact me. I run that shit. I'm very tired, so that is about all. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been the Market Down Podcast. That's James. I'm Matt. And could I say toodaloo, James?
Yeah, check us out on all social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and Blue Sky. But have a good night, everybody. Yeah. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much. And if I missed any of your comments, I apologize, but we are running on fumes here. Have a good night.
We'll get them next time.